Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Smitha. Welcome to my channel. You guys have been asking me for the longest time to do a Kashees inspired look. So here it is. If you didn't know, Kashees Beauty Parlour is in Karachi, Pakistan, and it's like a one-stop shop where you go in and come out looking fabulous. They have everything under one roof. They have a boutique, they have a spa, they have everything to make you look good. It's a parlor, they have hair extensions, and they also have products. And they were kind enough to send me 2 different eyeshadow palettes and their eyeshadow primer. They sent me the Silk and Sleek palette and the Ruby palette. The Ruby palette, I will use it in a different video. But today we'll focus on the Silk and Sleek palette, and I will be following a Kashees makeup tutorial from their YouTube channel, which is linked below. So if you're ready, let's begin. Instead of just the eye makeup, which I will be following shortly, I decided to do a complete face. So let's get done with the base makeup so I can show you the entire look, and then we'll move on to following Kashees tutorial to do the eye makeup. Because Kashees model is wearing a light color contact lenses, I decided to wear the melon color lenses in sugar brown. Super comfy and one of my favorites. I've linked it down below in the description box for you along with a discount code. I'm starting with the Amazing Cosmetics Anti-Aging Face Primer, one of my favorites. Amazing Cosmetics is such an underrated company. I don't know why people are not talking about it. They have some of the most amazing products, and this primer especially, I love it because it's a silicone-based primer. It's going to fill in all those pores, fine lines, smooth out the skin before you apply anything else over it. On my lips, I'm going to be using the Ofra lip balm. Okay, Ofra calls it the lipstick lip balm because it has that tinge of rose color to it. So it just adds the lightest hint of rose to your lips, which is beautiful. Not color correcting today because I'm going with a full coverage, my favorite drugstore foundation. This is the Maybelline Superstay and I'm in the shade Golden. And because I don't have color correction on today, I'm just going to be using a kabuki brush, probably the fastest and easiest way to apply a thicker full coverage foundation. And don't forget to bring it down to your neck as well, so your neck and your face look like one piece together. For spot correction around my mouth and to hide any pigmentation and dark circles, I'm going to be using my favorite concealer. This is the Milani concealer in 145, which is warm beige, and I just realized that it's an exact dupe for the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I believe the NARS concealer is about $30 and I paid $7.99 for the Milani concealer. So you're looking at less than half the cost, and it gives the same exact finish. And after everything looks well blended, I'm going to immediately set it with some loose powder. The one that I'm using is the banana loose powder from Colourpop. I'm going to dip the same sponge into the powder and gently press it in areas where I use the concealer to prevent it from creasing. And banana powders add a bit more brightness, especially under the eyes, so your eyes look more awake and alert. Now here's a trick to avoid flashbacks, especially when you use banana powder. Use a pressed powder over it. That's your skin tone. So the one that I'll be using is the Milani pressed powder in the shade 6. I'm just going to be setting my entire face and neck with it. And now we have a good base and we don't want it to move or crease. So to make it stay put, I'm going to be using a setting spray. The one that I'm using is the Pretty Fresh Setting Mist, and this one is from Colourpop. For my brows, I'm going to be using my Holy Grail, the Precisely My Brow from Benefit in the shade 4.5, just filling in the sparse areas as always, because I like my brows looking as natural as possible. With the concealer, I'm only going to clean up underneath my brows. I'm not going to use it on my lids as a base because I'm going to be using the Kashees base. And I'm also not going to set it with any powder. As I explained, I'm going to be using the Silk and Sleek palette by Kashees. He starts off by highlighting the brow bones using one of his watercolor shades. And I don't have that, so I'm going to be using the lightest shade in the palette, which is called Luminous. And I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bones. By the way, I'm going to be inserting little clips from the Kashees tutorial on the side for reference, so you can compare the two and see what I'm following and what I'm doing. This makeup is done by Kashif Aslam himself, and the next step in the process is he uses his eyeshadow base. This is the base. It comes with a pump, which is very easy to just pump out as much or as little as you want, and it has a very gel-like consistency. So I'm going to dab this all over my lid, and you can feel it getting tacky, so it holds on to whatever you apply over it, and it works perfectly, especially if you're using shimmers, because it immediately clings onto the product and the pigmentation is insane. Next, he uses the shade Oriental Pearl, which is a beautiful emerald green, and he uses this to saturate the entire lid with his finger. And as you can see, the pigmentation is insane and there's very little fallout because the product is immediately sticking onto the base. And for whatever reason, he applied it a second time to get more pigment payoff. I felt like it was not even necessary because the pigmentation is so good. But because he did it just to be true to his tutorial, because I'm following it, I applied it the second time. And yeah, this is a beautiful color. At the crease, he uses Your Majesty, so I'm going to be doing the same. And I'm using a brush similar to what he used. So he first places the shade in the outer corner and the crease using a flat, fluffy brush. Mine is from Doe Color. And then he blends it out and softens it using a blending brush. And I'll be doing the same. And the blending brush that I'll be using is a small one from Hip Dot. After softening it, he goes back into Your Majesty, and this time he uses it to deepen just the outer third of the lid. The brush that I'm using is a small fluffy brush that I got in a Rimmel palette. It's just very fine and precise, so I like to use that. And then again, I'm going with my blending brush to soften everything up. To deepen the outer corner, he is using Harmony, which is a black eyeshadow. So I'm going to be doing the same using a small definer brush from Colourpop. I'm going to take very little color at a time and build on top of it, because especially with black eyeshadow, if you take too much at one time, then blending becomes a nightmare. And then I'm taking a little bit more of Your Majesty to blend out the edges and to soften it. In the inner corner, he's again using his watercolor, which I don't have. So I'm going to be using Luminous again. I first applied it with a small flat shader brush from Colourpop, and now I'm blending with a pencil brush again from Colourpop. At this point, he applies the emerald shade one more time to brighten everything up, so I'm going to be doing the same. The next step in the process is to line the lash line. Kashif is using the Kashees eyeliner, and I'll be using the one from Ofra in black. This is also a gel liner, so as he explains, we're going to keep it really dark in the outer corner and line the rest of the lash line, keeping it very close to the lash line. The eyelashes that he was using is also from Kashees, and they wing out and are pretty wispy in the center, so you don't miss out on the eye makeup. And the closest one that I had that looked like that is from Carity, and this is in the style Ace. But before we use lashes, let's go ahead and curl our naturals and apply some mascara. The mascara that I'm using is my favorite Bad Girl Bang from Benefit Cosmetics. Before applying any eyeshadow in the lower lash line, he lined the waterline with the same gel liner. So I'm going to be using the Ofra gel liner once again to line my waterline. And then I'm going to be using Oriental Pearl in my lower lash line. And I'm going to keep the inner third open for a different eyeshadow, but for the rest of my lower lash line, I'm going to be using the beautiful Emerald Shimmer. The brush that I'm using is a flat, fluffy brush from Folklore. To highlight the inner third, I'm going to be using the shade Luminous again, but before that, I'm going to be spritzing some setting spray onto my flat definer brush from Hip Dot, and then dip it into Luminous and apply it in the inner third of my lower lash line. And we'll finish up with a coat of mascara in the lower lash line. You can stop at this, or as he explains, you can add a little bit of shimmer just to give that extra pizzazz. I don't really have the shimmer that he is using, so I'm going to be using a liquid glitter from Folklore. Just very little right there, and that's pretty much it, just to add that extra something. And that finishes up the eye makeup. Now let's finish up the rest of the face to reveal the complete look. To add some warmth and for that dimension, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Maxi Bronzer. You can use any bronzer, or if you prefer, you can also contour your face just to give that matte look. And if you don't like the shine, you don't have to. If you have too much texture on your face, I would just avoid using anything with shine because it emphasizes your texture. At this point, my daughter came into my room saying that we have a new little puppy which is kind of messing up everything downstairs, but I asked her to take care of it because I was taping and I was not going to go down. So that's what I'm explaining to her. For blush, I'm trying a new shade from Benefit in Georgia. This is such a very peachy toned, very simple, mellowed down blush. Just gives you enough color if you like that very simple look. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And to highlight and add a little bit of luminosity to my entire face, I'm going to be using the Master Chrome from Maybelline, one of my favorite drugstore highlighters. I'm keeping my lips nude today. You can also go with a red lipstick depending on the kind of look that you're going for. I prefer something that's toned down when I have very dramatic eyes or more colors on my eyes. So today I'm using the long-lasting liquid lipstick from Ofra in Story. I finished this look with one of my favorite hairstyles, high sleek ponytail. You don't have to worry about washing your hair and whatnot. Even if you haven't for a couple days, it still looks so polished and so clean. And my sari is from Angadi Silks in Bangalore. I don't exactly remember where I got my earrings from, but I wanted to leave it at statement earrings. I didn't want a necklace or anything. There should be one showstopper according to me. But if you like multiple showstoppers, go for it. For me, one statement earrings should do. And here is the completed look. Drop a comment below and let me know if you enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know what else should I do with the two palettes. I just love the pigment payoff and just the colors. So I just have so many different ideas, but if you do have ideas for me, let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. You'll see videos from me every week on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. And for your convenience, I'm listing all the products that I used and links in the description box right below this video. You'll also find links to my socials there. So make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon with a brand new one. Bye, guys.